Recently, I made a video on how to use Google Maps and Deepseek to earn money online, and you guys really seemed to enjoy it. So in this video, I'm going to show you another way that you can use Deepseek to earn money online. For this method, we are going to be offering YouTube scripts and thumbnail creation services on Fiverr. Here's the amount of money that I was able to make on Fiverr off of one single gig that I was offering. Now, results are not guaranteed, and it was difficult to earn this money. But in this video, I'll be showing you one of the ways that I was able to do this across multiple different Fiverr accounts and gigs. Now, before you click off the video because you have no idea how to make YouTube thumbnails or scripts, that's what I'm going to be showing you today, and I'm going to show you how you can do it with the assistance of AI. The reason why I chose specifically these two services combined is because there's a huge demand on Fiverr for YouTube video scripts and thumbnails, but most people are not combining them both together to offer an all-in-one package service, and we can do this using AI. Firstly, we need to know what exactly is Deepseek and how we're going to use it. So Deepseek is an AI that came out and it is very similar to ChatGPT. It could even be considered better than ChatGPT in some ways. As we can see on screen, it's very similar to ChatGPT. I'm going to ask it to create me an example YouTube video script. Now it's going to come up with a YouTube video script for us as an example of what it can do. As you can see, Deepseek is really good at coming up with YouTube video scripts, so it's going to help us in this process of creating scripts and sending them to our clients. For the very first step in this video, I'm going to go to Fiverr.com and look at what some of our competitors are offering. As you can see here, here's the Fiverr dashboard. We can search in the search bar down here. I'm going to search for script writing on YouTube. As we can see, there's a ton of different script writing gigs that are being offered by different sellers, and they all vary widely in price. But one thing in common that they have is that they all have a lot of reviews. We can see that there's definitely high demand for script writing for YouTube videos. There's millions of YouTube videos uploaded every single day to the YouTube platform, and a lot of these need scripts. So if people don't want to make them themselves, they go to websites such as Fiverr to pay someone to quickly make a script for them. I'm going to go to the search bar and look for YouTube thumbnails now. As we can see here, there's a lot of different thumbnail gigs as well from a lot of different sellers with hundreds of reviews on a lot of them. So we can see that it's definitely a very in-demand niche as well. This one here is over 143 reviews. This one has almost 1,000. There's also multiple other gigs here that have over 1,000 reviews that are offering YouTube thumbnail services. Now here's the interesting part. I'm going to search for YouTube thumbnails and scripts. And as we can see on screen, there's not really much for YouTube thumbnails and scripts packaged together. As we can see, it's mostly cash cow videos, which is kind of not the same as a YouTube script and thumbnail together, since we've been working in multiple different niches and offering different services. We can see that it's a unique service. YouTube scripts and thumbnails are extremely popular, but not many people are offering both together. So by doing that, we can eliminate the competition and offer a unique service that's still in demand. And it will also be easier for the customer to deal with if they're looking for both YouTube thumbnails and scripts, since they'll get them both packaged together and delivered at the same time. For the next step, I'm going to go to the top right corner on Fiverr and click on this join button. Now we can sign up. Once you put in your email, we can choose a username for our Fiverr account. There we go, I named mine YTube Designs. Now we could choose whether or not we want to be a freelancer or a client. For this video, we are going to be choosing a freelancer. You can also do both on your account. You can switch to buying services as well or selling on the same account. Now we could choose what type of freelancer we want to be. I'm going to be a solo freelancer. For experience, I'm going to do freelancing online. Now we can set up our gig. So we have to complete our profile, set up our gig, and publish it and start getting orders. Here's the breakdown on what exactly we have to do. So we have to create our seller profile and then we can publish our gig. I'm going to click on continue. Now here's some information on what makes a successful Fiverr profile. I'm going to click through these as well. Now we can fill out this personal information. I'm going to put my name and then my display name. For a profile picture, I'm going to go to canva.com. You can follow along with this if you're unsure of how to make a profile picture. I'm going to go to create a design and I'm going to search up profile picture in the search bar. Now we can see there's different options here. I'm gonna go with the YouTube profile picture since it should fit the dimensions for Fiverr. Now on the left side here, we can choose from one of these templates. There we go, I found this one here with this kind of diamond shape in the middle. I'm gonna delete this guy's face out of it. Now I'm gonna add some text into the middle. So I'm gonna type in J. I'm gonna resize it and change it to red and then add a H as well. Now I'm gonna try and center it into the middle of our profile picture and then add a lift effect on it. I'm going to delete this diamond shape and then put our text in the very middle of the screen. There we go, now we have a profile picture that says JH on it. I'm going to attach it to our profile picture on Fiverr. Now we need a description for our profile. I'm gonna go to deepseek.com and we're gonna use Deepseek to make this description for us. I'm gonna ask it to create me a 150 word seller description for my Fiverr YouTube thumbnail and script writing profile. Now it's gonna come up with the description for us. I'm gonna change up the description a little bit. Now that we have an actual full description, I'm gonna copy and paste it into Fiverr. Next, we have the language that we speak. I'm gonna choose English at a fluent level. For occupation, you're gonna wanna choose either graphic and design or writing and translation, something that's related to what we're selling. For me, I'm gonna choose writing and translation. Now we can choose a year. This doesn't really matter. I just normally choose a random year. I'm going to do 2023 to 2025. For our experience, we're going to want to do something related to our gig once again. I'm going to check script writing, social media copy, podcast writing, and proofreading and editing. Now we can move on to skills. I'm going to look up graphic design. There we go. There's graphic design at an expert level as well. Now we can look up another skill. I would recommend that you have at least 2 or 3 different skills. I'm gonna look up script writing. Doesn't seem like there is anything for script writing. I'm gonna look up script and just see what comes up. The closest thing they have is script editing, so I guess I'm just gonna do that at an expert level as well. I'm gonna leave the rest of this blank and click on continue. Here we go, account security. I'm gonna skip this. Now we are ready to start selling and create our own gig. So we can set up our gig, which is going to be offering a YouTube thumbnail and script service now. For a gig title, I'm going to say I will write your YouTube script and create a killer thumbnail. For a category, I'm going to choose writing and translation, script writing. Now we have to fill out our language. I'm going to choose English. At the bottom here, we can set up some different positive keywords. These will help our gig to rank higher up, so these are important to add in. I'm going to add in YouTube thumbnail, script writing, YouTube script, graphic design, and social media script. It looks like we have to choose a service type here. I'm going to choose video scripts as our service type. Now we can click on save and continue. Here we are on the second part of setting up our gig. Here's where it gets interesting. We can choose our pricing and the different packages that we want to offer for a gig. These can really impact your gig. High prices mean you could struggle to get sales, and low prices could also make it so that it's not really worth your time to even complete the orders. So we have to find kind of the sweet spot where it's just enough that you get as many orders as possible, and then it's also worth your time to do all of the orders. What I normally do is I go to Fiverr and search up different gigs that are in my niche. I'm going to look up YouTube thumbnails so that we can see how much people are charging for their different YouTube thumbnails. We can see it varies a lot. Some people are offering as high as $50. Some are as low as $20 or $10. We can see this gig here that's $10 only. They offer a 1-day delivery, but also they have 72 orders in their queue and almost 5,000 reviews. So we can see that $10 is really a price point that is performing very well for them. So $10 is around where we want to be for a thumbnail. As we can see here, this gig is $20 per thumbnail, but he only has 8 orders in queue compared to the other seller who had 70 plus orders. You can always modify the prices later if you're not getting the results that you're looking for. I'm going to start with around $10 to $15 per thumbnail. Since we are combining our services with script writing, let's see how much of the script writing gigs are getting paid. This seller here has a lot of orders done. They've done over 2,600 orders, and they charge $10 for their basic package, $20 for their standard package, we can see, for a certain amount of words, and $30 for their premium package. Now that we've done some research on the other gigs in our niches, I'm going to sell one thumbnail and script for a basic package. And I'm going to offer a 7 to 12 minute YouTube video script, since that's about the same thing that they are offering for $20. I'm going to put all of this in our description, and as well we're going to do 900 to 1901 words, which is also what that other seller is offering. Make sure that it's clear in your description on how many words you're doing and how many thumbnails you're offering so that you don't confuse people. And for a price, we're going to do $35. So you might be wondering, where did I get that number from? Well, I took the $10 per thumbnail average that we kind of got and the $20 per script, added that together and added extra $5 since we're offering both all together in 1 gig. We can see they have 3-day delivery. I'm also going to offer 3-day delivery. 3 days is kind of the sweet spot for now. We could always make it 2 or 1 day if we find that we're completing orders a lot faster than we realized we would be able to. Let's see, I'm going to check mark all of these boxes here. We offer all of these different services, and we're going to have 2 revisions per order. We can see that they are actually also offering 2 revisions. 2 revisions is good because that allows them to get some input into whether or not they want things changed, but not too much to where they're just constantly rechanging the script over and over and over and asking for revisions forever. Now I'm going to copy and paste our titles and descriptions over to these other packages, and I'm going to change it to 2 thumbnails and 3 thumbnails. I'm also going to change the amount of thumbnails in the description. For their premium package, they're offering 13 to 16 minutes, so we are also going to offer this. And for our next package, I'm going to do 16 to 20 minutes. For the word counts, I'm going to make it so that they're all in line with the other packages. That way each one has extra words in it. For delivery time, it's going to be 4 days and 5-day delivery. Just 1 extra day for each time you go up in price. Now we're going to take our running time of 16 minutes and I'm going to times it by 60 in my calculator to find out what our running time is going to be. There we go, it's 960 for a standard package, and it's going to be 1200 for a premium package. I'm going to check mark all of these boxes off as well. For a gig price, if we do some math, our competitors offering their script for $30, and we're doing 2 thumbnails, so that's $50, plus our $5 premium adds up to $55. If we do the same thing here, we're going to offer $70 for a premium package. We can also add some extra services. One of my favorites is extra fast delivery, since we can charge a lot and people will probably buy it if they're in a rush and they're looking for quick deliveries. I'll deliver in only 1 day for an extra $15 for each service, and then it's going to be an extra $15 for our last service as well. There we go. Now we have our prices done. All of our packages are set up. Now we can move on to making our gig description. Once again, I'm going to go back to Deepseek and we're going to use it to help us out with this gig description. Let's take this gig description here from this popular thumbnail seller. I'm going to copy it and then go back to Deepseek. Now I'm going to say create me a 1200 character gig description, since that's Fiverr's limit, similar to this one. Now I'm going to paste in the description that I copied over, and it's going to come up with a script for us based on this other seller's description. Here we go. It's creating a script for us that we can use. It hasn't added in our script editing service, so I'm going to say add in my script writing service combined with thumbnails. There we go. Here's our description that Deepseek came up with. I'm going to do a quick look for errors that it may have added in or different mistakes. Here it's underlined red, so I'm going to fix that. Now we can scroll down to the FAQ section. For this, again, I'm going to look at our competitor's gig and see what FAQ they have. We can see that they are offering a FAQ section about the requirements. I'm going to do the same thing, saying what requirements are needed. Number 1 is going to be the title of your video. Number 2, do they have any images that they want to be in the thumbnail? Number 3 is the color or style that they want for the thumbnail and script. Number 4 is a link to their channel. That's why we get an idea of what their past videos look like, if they have any. Number 5, I'm going to ask, do they have any specific instructions for us, just in case, to make sure that we get this order done correctly. Now we can save and continue. Here we go. We can add our actual requirements in. This is very important that you put in the actual requirements that they need, since a lot of buyers won't actually put all of the information that you need if you don't specifically tell them that you need this stuff. I'm going to ask our very first question here. It's going to be in the form of free text. You want to make sure that it's not an attachment and that it's in free text. And we are going to ask for their YouTube channel link as a requirement. For the second question here, we are going to ask for a attachment, and it's going to be of any images that they want to add in for maybe inspiration or examples of what they want. This is going to be an optional question that's not required, so you can uncheck this requirement box. I'm going to ask if they have any specific instructions for their third and final requirement related to the style. And this is also going to be required since we need to know if there's any specific style they're looking for in the thumbnail or script that we send them. Now we have to move on to the gallery, which is extremely important for your gig. A bad image could result in no sales, so it's really important that you get a good image that's really showcasing what your gig can do. For this gig thumbnail, we're going to be using canva.com with a custom size of 1280 by 769. This is Fiverr's recommended size for the gig thumbnail. We can see for a competitor here, he's got this really flashy thumbnail that's made to stand out. The first thing I'm going to do is find a background for our gig thumbnail. So I'm going to go to Element and look for a background that we could use. This background here looks pretty nice, so I'm going to drag it in. Now I'm going to search for a YouTube logo. We're going to look for one that's transparent and has no background. Here we go, I found this YouTube logo. You want to find one that's a PNG and that's transparent so that it looks like this. I'm going to drag it into our canvas as well. And I'm going to resize it into the side here. I'm also going to go to the left side here and we can add a quick drop shadow effect. This really helps to make the image pop a little more as well. Down here on the left side, I'm going to go to text and grab this recently used one. If you don't see it, I would just look for any kind of text that you like and then put that text in and change it to whatever you want it to be. For our example, I'm going to change our text to thumbnail on the top part here and then and script on the bottom. I'm going to size it up to match the size of our YouTube logo, and I'm going to change the text to white. That way it's easier to see in the background. Now I'm going to look at some examples of YouTube script gig thumbnails. We can see that the gig images for the script writing gigs was not as good as the YouTube thumbnail ones were, and that makes sense because YouTube thumbnail gigs are selling thumbnails, so they want to have a good image on their gig. For script writing, it doesn't matter as much. So for us, we're going to need a good image since we want to really showcase what we can do. For us to make a good gig image, we're actually going to make an example thumbnail that we can show off as a sample of our work. So we're going to do this by going back to Deepseek. I'm going to ask it a prompt to give me 10 YouTube video ideas that clients could have given me. Now it's given me 10 different YouTube video ideas that imaginary clients could have given us. Here's one that I really like here of a before and after transformation of a house renovation. I think that this one could be perfect for an example thumbnail. Now I'm going to use Deepseek to give us an example script as well. I'm going to say create me a YouTube video script for a 7 to 12 minute video. I'm going to paste in our amount of words and it's going to be on a home renovation transformation before and after. There we go, it's come up with a script for us. So this is kind of how you would make the script for your client. Of course, you could fine tune it and send in a ton of different prompts to Deepseek until the script is really perfect and the client is happy. For example, I'm just going to leave this script as is, and we're going to focus more on creating the thumbnail since that's the part that actually requires a little bit of knowledge on creating thumbnails in Canva. So to get you guys started, I'm going to show you kind of a thumbnail creation guide on how I would create a thumbnail for this idea. I'm going to go back to Canva and create a design with a size of 1280 by 720. There we go. Now we have our canvas set up here. I'm going to go to elements and we can see in shapes that there's this bar here. I'm going to take this bar and drag it out so that it fits our whole screen. There we go. I set up this bar so that it looks like this, which is perfect if you're doing a before and after thumbnail. This works great. It doesn't matter what niche you're making the thumbnail on. You just put a bar in the middle and then the before on the left and then the after on the right side of the thumbnail. So we're going to do this by adding some text saying before and after on both sides. You can do this by grabbing a heading on the left and then just typing in before, copying it over and typing in after on the right side. I'm going to change our text color to yellow and add a lift effect so it looks a bit nicer as well. There you go. Now we need an image for a before of what our house is going to look like. Obviously, this is not a real video that a client sent us, so we don't have any images of what the house would actually look like. So I'm going to go to Google and just search up a rundown house image. There we go. I'm going to paste in this image here. I'm going to size it up so that it passes that black bar that's in the middle of our canvas. Now we need a nice new looking modern house. So I'm going to look for a nice house image on Google as well that we can use to put as our after. There we go. I'm going to size it up so that it fits most of our screen as well. Now we have our before and after here. Actually, to make this a bit easier, I changed the line so that it's going straight and that it's white so that it pops on the screen a little more, side by side with the bar going down the middle. I'm going to change this after text to white and add a lift effect behind it. Okay, there we go. Now we can adjust some settings on here. For your thumbnails, you want to make sure that you're always cranking the brightness, maybe cranking the contrast, highlights, crank a lot of that stuff to get that kind of Mr. Beast effect so that the thumbnail pops a lot. So I'm going to crank the brightness on this after image here. This rundown house is actually pretty low quality. It's not looking that good now that it's sized up. So I'm going to grab a different one here. I'm going to look up a 1920 by 1080 image because that's the size of our canvas. If you have a low quality image, make sure that you find one that's actually the same dimensions as your canvas. There we go. I'm going to put this one in and size it up. And now I'm going to change the brightness on it, and it looks a lot better than what our thumbnail looked like before just by changing the image. There we go. Now we can export this thumbnail. Now we're going to go to a website called thumbsup.tv. This website allows you to preview what your thumbnails are going to look like, and it's going to help us for creating our gig image. I'm going to drop in my thumbnail right here on the website. There we go. We can see an example of what it would look like on YouTube. It looks like a pretty good thumbnail that we have made here. Now I'm going to screenshot this little box here. You can do this if you're on Windows using the snipping tool, or if you're unsure of how to screenshot if you're on a different device, I would just Google it and then screenshot this thumbnail. Now I'm going to paste in the screenshot that we took into our gig image and size it up to a decent size here. I'm going to add a drop shadow on it as well. I'm going to move in our text a little bit to where it's centered on the side here. For a background, I'm going to change this background. This one's too dark. It's not poppy enough so that people will see our gig image. There we go. This background made the world of a difference. All I did was change it to a brighter background. Now we can see our gig image looks way better. I'm going to download our gig image and go back to Fiverr and upload it. There we go. Now we can click on save and continue, and our gig's fully done. I'm going to preview what our gig would look like if someone found us on Fiverr. As we can see, we have all of our prices and our packages set up with our thumbnails and scripts that we're able to offer. You can create the thumbnails in Canva, and you can use Deepseek to automatically make the scripts for you. As we can see, we have all of our packages, our FAQ, and our description. Everything's done, and we're ready to sell on Fiverr. I hope this video helped you out. Thanks for watching.